Welcome back. Over the last few episodes, we've built a surprisingly complete fighting game. We have movement, normal attacks, target combos, special moves, a super meter, and even server authoritative combat. But there's one problem. You can't actually see any of it without opening the Explorer. So today we're fixing that. We'll start by creating a brand new module. Inside the client folder, add a module script called UI controller. This module is responsible for building our entire interface through scripting. We'll begin with a small helper function called make. Its job is simple. Create a new UI object, apply a table of properties, parent it, return it. This keeps the rest of our UI code much cleaner and easier to read. Now let's build the interface itself. Inside the constructor, we'll create a ScreenGui. Set Ignore GUI Inset to True. That allows our health bars to sit flush against the top of the screen, just like modern fighting games. Also set Reset on Spawn to False. That way the HUD survives player respawns instead of rebuilding every single time. Now add 2 health bars, one for the player, one for the dummy. Position them in opposite corners of the screen. Next, create a super meter in the lower left corner. Finally, create a combo counter near the center of the screen. Everything is generated entirely through code. No manually created UI objects required. Now let's build the health bars. Each one contains 3 parts: a dark background, a colored fill, and a name label. The dummy's health bar uses a mirror option. Instead of shrinking from left to right, it shrinks from right to left. This makes both bars drain toward the center of the screen, matching classic fighting games like Street Fighter. Whenever health changes, we simply update the fill percentage. The width smoothly tweens to its new size. At the same time, the color changes from green to yellow to red, making heavy combos feel much more impactful. Both player and dummy health simply reuse the same set bar function. Now let's build the super meter. This one's much simpler. As you land attacks, the blue fill gradually increases. Once the meter reaches 100%, it immediately turns gold. That's your visual cue that the super art is ready to use. The server has actually been tracking this value since episode 4. Now we're finally displaying it. Now for the most satisfying part, the combo counter. We don't want it constantly visible, so if the combo count is less than 2, the entire widget stays hidden. As soon as the second hit lands, it appears with the current hit count and total combo damage. The text color changes: white, yellow, orange, red, then magenta. Every successful hit also triggers a quick scale animation. That tiny pop effect makes every combo feel much more satisfying. The combo counter is split into 2 methods. Set combo updates the hit count. Add combo damage accumulates the damage reported by the server. Whenever the combo ends, the counter disappears, and the damage total resets back to 0, ready for the next combo. Now let's update our config module. Add a new setting called Max Health. We'll set it to 1000. Our server already assumed this value as a fallback. Now it's officially shared between both client and server. Next, let's update the fighter module. The fighter has always tracked combo counts internally. It simply never shared that information. We'll add a callback called onCombo. Whenever a confirmed hit increases the combo, fire the callback. And whenever the combo timer expires, fire it again with 0. The fighter still focuses on gameplay. It simply broadcasts combo updates so the HUD can react. Now let's connect everything together. Inside the Bootstrap script, require the UI controller. Unlike our gameplay modules, we'll only create this once, not every time the character respawns. Remember, Reset on Spawn is disabled, so one UI instance is all we need. Next, we're already listening for dummy event to play hit sparks. Inside that same event, update the dummy's health bar. Then add the reported damage to the combo counter. Our meter event from episode 4 already tells us whenever meter changes. Simply connect that event to set meter. Finally, inside the build function, connect the fighter's on-combo callback to the combo counter. For now, the player's health never changes because nobody can attack us yet. That will change once we build enemy AI later in the series. Everything else, the dummy health, the meter, and the combo counter, immediately become fully functional. Let's test it. Press play. You should immediately see your fighting game HUD, health bars at the top, an empty super meter. Now walk over to the dummy. Start a combo. On the second hit, the combo counter appears. Each additional hit increases both the combo count and total damage. Meanwhile, the dummy's health bar smoothly drains toward the center. As health gets lower, the bar transitions from green to yellow, then finally red. Perform a target combo. Watch the large damage value appear. Keep attacking until your super meter fills completely. Once it turns gold, use your super art. The meter instantly empties, ready to build again. If something isn't working, here are a few things to check. If a health bar never updates, verify the dummy event is sending the latest health value. If the meter never changes, make sure meter event is connected correctly. If the combo counter never appears, remember it intentionally stays hidden until the second hit. If the damage always reads 0, confirm the server includes the damage value inside dummy event. Before we wrap up, here's a quick bonus update. Several people noticed something while testing. Pressing S correctly entered the crouch state, but the character never actually crouched. The gameplay was working, the animation wasn't. Here's why. Our animation controller has only been playing attack animations. It never handled looping locomotion animations like idle, walking, crouching, or jumping. Until now, Roblox's default Animate script has been controlling those animations. The problem is, the default Animate script doesn't know anything about our custom crouch animation. So even though the fighter entered the crouch state, nothing changed visually. Let's fix that. Inside the animation controller, create a mapping between locomotion states and animation slots. Then add a new function called setBase. This swaps the currently playing looping animation. Next, create Update Locomotion. It simply looks at the player's movement state and selects the appropriate animation. Idle, walk, jump, or crouch. These animations play at movement priority. That way, attack animations which use action priority still override them whenever a move starts. Now return to the bootstrap. Inside the build function, disable Roblox's default Animate script. Otherwise, it will constantly fight with our own animations. Next, update the locomotion animation every frame using the current movement state. Finally, remember to disconnect that update loop whenever the character respawns. Otherwise, you'll slowly accumulate duplicate connections. Let's test one last time. Press play, walk around, jump, stand still. Everything should now use your own published animations. Finally, hold S. Your fighter smoothly enters the crouch pose. Release the key, and they return to idle. The crouch animation was already sitting inside animation IDs. It simply needed the animation controller to actually play it. And that's episode 5 complete. We built a professional fighting game HUD with animated health bars, a super meter, and a combo counter. Then we finished our animation system by replacing Roblox's default locomotion with our own custom idle, walk, jump, and crouch animations. In the next episode, we'll finally take the fight into the air by building launchers, juggling mechanics, and aerial combos. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in episode 6.